Hello everyone, Carolyn Rustin here, professional life coach. Thank you for joining me today. Wanting to talk to you about the busyness trap. We live in this fast-paced world where, whenever you talk to someone and say, so how you doing? Oh, busy. So busy. Isn't that always the answer? Whether we're getting from other people or we're giving to them. And the focus is on how busy we are. And it's almost like a social status, like that, you're doing well if you're busy. Because what does it mean if you're not busy? Hi, Paulette. And so kind of looking at being busy all the time, what does that really mean for you and your mental well-being? So I've just kind of jotted down 10 points here that I'd like to go through and give you some strategies that you can try. Hi, Denise. So first of all, really rethinking that, as I call it, that badge of honor, where we feel that to justify ourselves, to justify our significance, to make it look like, okay, we're making great use of our time, we have to be busy, and we have to be busy all the time. One of the things I talk to my clients about a lot is this. One of the 6 basic human needs that we discuss is significance. And if we are not feeling significant in our life, we need to justify it by what we do. And so sometimes when I talk to people and I'll say, so how was your day today? And instead of saying, great, I had this positive thing happen, or it was tough, this was a challenge, I get a shopping list. I did 4 loads of laundry, I emptied the dishwasher, I spent 4 hours on my work, I took my kid to swimming lessons, it's this list. Hi, Susan. And just justifying what we did with our time throughout the day. And so think about that as far as, okay, well, what are you doing with your time? Maybe it might be worthwhile jotting down all the stuff that you do. How much of this stuff is bringing you joy? And yes, I get it. There are many things that we just have to do that don't bring us joy, but just have to get done. But, and this is just a little reframe, we get to do it. When we think of many other people that we know of, whether they're no longer with us, whether they are in hospital and suffering and dealing with this and that, they don't get to do these things. They may not get to drive their child to hockey or wherever. So that's another reframe of we get to do these. It's not just that we have to, we get to. So rethinking that badge of honor. And knowing that busyness sometimes is a choice. And this is another thing. I talk to so many women and I'll say to them, okay, if I could wave a magic wand and give you an extra hour in the day, what would you do with it? And I swear, it's like looking at deer in a headlight. They're like, I don't know. Because so many women our age are running around like crazy getting stuff done that they don't even know what they'd like to do if they had more time. So again, knowing that sometimes we make choices about how we spend our time that we don't really need to do. And I'll ask you here, give me a thumbs up if you think, let me reframe this. Give me a thumbs up if you know you could never empty out your to-do list. There's always something. There's always something around the house. There's always cleaning that has to be done, laundry that has to be done, groceries that have to be bought, whatever it is. Stuff with work. I'm sure there's stuff that always has to be done. So when people say, I'm so busy, I really challenge that it's a choice, because you can always be busy. You can always have something to do. But are you going to choose to prioritize something else over it? Health and well-being, above all. We know that if we are busy all the time, it takes a toll. It really does. And this was, when we think back to COVID, a big win for many people during COVID was they were forced to slow down. Now, there were many people in our world that it was the opposite. Those people who were in healthcare and all that, and I recognize that that's a totally different animal there. But for many people, they were forced to slow down, and that was a real positive, because it was just like, oh, this is what it feels like. I can actually breathe now. I can actually focus on me. I can actually do something for me. Well, now things have ramped back up. And so it's taking some of those learnings from COVID and thinking, okay, I don't have to be going 100 miles an hour all the time. I have to stop and I have to look after me. Because if you don't stop and look after you, there will come a time where you are forced, whether it's through a breakdown, a health issue, something's going to happen that's going to force you to stop. So it's about putting yourself first so you don't get to that point. Hi, Joy. The next one is prioritizing what matters and looking at, okay, so what in your life is really important? What are the must-dos? The things that, yeah, you really need to get done, and the others that, if you get to them, fine, or, well, they can be tomorrow. They don't have to be just jammed into this day that you have today. So really thinking about how you're going to allocate your time. The next one I'm looking at is, we've talked about this before, is mastering the ability to say no. And I know some of you right now, when I said that, you just cringed, didn't you? Give me a thumbs up if you just cringed when I said, learn how to say no. Because it's so much easier for us and less cringy just to say yes. But we sacrifice ourselves, because every time we say yes to someone else, we're saying no to ourselves for something that we'd like to do or we'd need to do. So one of the best ways to start to say no more easily and more often is pick little things. Like, it's not the big things that are really hard to say no to. It's the little things. Start with those and be really intentional. Because especially if you know it's coming, and just think, okay, when that person asks me to do whatever it is, this time I'm going to say, I'm really sorry. I can't help you this time. Maybe another time, but today I can't. Okay, so being really intentional about starting to say no for little things. The next one is about delegation. I love to delegate, but again, this is a skill. And if you're not comfortable doing it, it's hard. But thinking, okay, if this is in your personal life, who in your home can you get to help you and you can delegate? Maybe it's delegating some of the chores around the house to your kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hi, Sarah. To me, that's a real skill set for kids to learn how to do different things around the house. And again, I have so many moms who talk to me and they're doing everything. And I'm like, whoa, wait. Like, as soon as your kids are able, and it can be young. I remember my kids were, I'm just trying to think. My boys were probably about 8 when they started doing laundry and baby steps. I remember I bought 3 different laundry baskets. They were white, and I wrote on them in a black Sharpie. I said whites, darks, colors. And they used to bring their laundry down to the hall outside the laundry room, and they would sort their own laundry. That's how we started at a young age. So my kids have been taught, and they know how to clean a house. They know how to do things. So get your kids on board and have them help you out. I'll give you this is a little tip that I used to use with my kids, because I know some of you are thinking, are you nuts, Carolyn? You think my kids are going to be willingly wanting to clean the house? One of the ways around that, I used to do this every Saturday morning. I would get up and I would write a list of everything that needed to be done around the house, but I'd break it up into really small bits. Like, instead of cleaning bathrooms, I would say clean all toilets, clean all sinks, clean mirrors. Like, I break it down. Vacuum main floor, vacuum upstairs. Break it down into small things. So my kids knew Saturday morning, whoever came down here first had first dibs to the list. And I wouldn't have to worry about making sure it was fair. They would sign up for what they wanted, and then the others would, and they'd have to make sure it was all fair. And then the only rule was it had to be done that day. I didn't care when. And it was a great way because they were motivated because they didn't want to have the crappy chores, or in what their mind was the crappy chores. So they wanted to come down and get their name on the list, and away they went. Anyway, delegating, huge. Scheduling some downtime for you. Again, if you don't schedule it, you don't do it. Because if you think to yourself, okay, yeah, but I got to get all this stuff done, and then I'll take it easy. If you don't schedule it, it doesn't happen. So picking, maybe an hour of your day, you're going to sit down, read a book, go for a nice walk, enjoy the sunshine, whatever it is that you choose to do, schedule that into your day. Just embracing mindfulness and presence, and just taking that time to breathe. And I know that sounds so basic, but it's huge. I had a client who I remember talking to her about breathing and realizing that she didn't understand what it meant to take a deep breath, because it had been forever since she had actually taken a deep breath right down to her belly. And so often we are all shallow breathers. We're only breathing up around here. And if you take the time to take a few deep breaths and it feels different for you, it's been a while. I know I feel that way at times too, where I actually stop and take a few deep breaths and I'm like, okay, I got to do that more often again. Setting realistic goals. So knowing that if you have this list, yay long, of, okay, I got to get all this done because I'm busy till it's all done. As we said earlier, we all have lists that will never end. They're always ongoing. So thinking, okay, what are 2 or 3 things that are really important that I need to get done today? The rest, if I can knock some off, great. If not, it's okay. That list is always going to be there for me. So being really realistic for yourself. Finally, just creating, I want to call it like a fulfillment plan. So what are you going to do outside of being busy that brings you joy and will make you feel fulfilled? Like if you can write a few things down that you think to yourself, okay, this is what I want to do this week. I want to spend half hour 3 times this week doing this. Or I want to spend an hour a day, or maybe it's just once during this week. This is what I want to get done. Prioritize what's going to bring you joy. If you're just prioritizing all the other stuff that needs to get done, you're not going to feel joy by the end. So I hope this helps. We, as women, we are classic in getting caught up in this busyness. This is not characteristic just to you. If you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is exactly what my life is like. So many of us are like this, and this is what we're dealing with. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can just say, stop. Okay, what am I going to prioritize? And me being busy isn't how I'm feeling fulfilled. At a surface level, that's often the way we look at it. So just thinking about your day today. How busy are you? Can you take some time? Can you go outside and enjoy the sunshine? Can you take a few deep breaths? Can you sit down and read something that's meaningful for you? Can you do something fun? What are you going to do for you? I'd love to hear below. What are you going to do for you today that will make you feel fulfilled? It'll give you a little joy. If this is something that you're struggling with and you need a little help with, I would love to sit down, have a little free chat with you, talk about where you are, maybe, how I could help you move forward, give you a few strategies. If that's something that interests you, type me below. I can set that up, no problem at all with you. But meanwhile, you don't have to wear that busyness badge of honor. It's time to dump it. Anyway, have a great day.